No, I hear it fine. Alright, good. Yeah, all my instruments are working. Okay, cool. Sweet. We're good, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. Okay. Hi everyone, welcome back to Multiversus. Tonight is a special thing of Beetlejuice. Hey guys, gals, how's everybody doing? Ghosts with the most. Showtime! Yeah. Good. So don't get drowned. Turn the game volume down so I don't get drowned. Okay. I thought I did have the game volume down. Alright, anyway. So tonight is going to be a mixture of stuff. We're going to do the Beetlejuice thing on Insanity, so we can start earning some rewards. Ah! Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm just having such an off day. What? Oh gosh. Ugh. Am I good? No, I don't think so. If you guys could do me a solid and click the short link for me. Oh, that'd be weird. I mean, that would be good. Oh, oh my gosh. Having such a... Oh, excuse me. Sorry, Link shed a lot. As you guys know, I have cat allergies, so Linky yeah. Linky shed a lot. Oh my gosh, okay. But anyway, Marissa, let's get into this. So I'm mostly going to be playing as Beetlejuice. We just need to do what we normally do. I would recommend probably using your orange gems if you got them, because you're going to need them. But I would tell you, the most dangerous people in the world are people that literally live with their political opinions on their sleeve, and they cannot function as civilized members of society without their politics running their life. Those are the most dangerous people in the world. Because they have nothing outside of their agenda and their beliefs. And those are terrifying people. Bar none. Those are the ones you have to watch out for. Because those people are unhinged. I do not like the air in this rift. The feeling of death hangs heavy, as though something is spreading from the other side. It might seem like we're against the world, Marissa, but we're normal. Like, the world is exactly how we are. Media tries to push you and change you and tell you everything's like that, but if it was really like that, then the media wouldn't be pushing this stuff that hard, and people haven't socially accepted what they want to accept. Especially the thing where they're trying to pressure, you know, it to be okay to, like, harm children. Like, that will never be socially acceptable, but there are people that are mad and that are pushing for it. You know? And society is like, no, that's wicked. And they're like, why is it wicked? It's like, it is wicked. It doesn't need to be, like, some type of discussion. You can't do that to children because children are innocent. And they don't like that. So, I mean, you know, there's always going to be a greater pushback against some of the things that they want normalized. And they don't like that. They don't... I really feel like a lot of these people grew up without hearing the word no. And when somebody says no, or, you know, I'm not going to do that, or you can't make me do this, they kind of, like, detach from reality. Because all their life they've been told yes, or they've been told that I'm important and I can do whatever I want. So when they run into like a normal person that tells them, no, you can't do this or that's wrong, they kind of like mentally snap. That's kind of where the problem and the reason why I got into the whole, you know, me versus SJWs and woke people is because I am the voice of reason, logic, and common sense. And naturally, you know, there's two opposing forces, good and evil, pushing back against each other. My name, actually, Luke, means light, light bringer. So I cannot purposely blind myself with darkness. I have to carry the light. And a lot of these evil people that are after me, they're trying to diminish the light, but they can't because the light is stronger than them. You see? But they got me involved. I was never involved until they attacked me. If they never would have attacked me 3 years ago, I probably never would have ever mentioned SJWs or woke people. They tried to bring the war to me. I'm bringing it to their doorstep. That's the difference between me and other YouTubers. Got the police involved, got the district attorney involved, talked to the FBI, and I'm tracing them. Whenever they attack me, I start up my equipment and we start tracing them. We play a game of tag. They ping me, I ping them. And eventually I'm going to find them. But anyway, never mind. Don't worry about it, Andre. It's an internet like culture thing. I don't want to explain it. Oh, there's something associated with Lightbringer to an internet meme I'm not aware of. I mean, that's what my name means, though. I am too, Marissa. I'm gonna have a cold one when it happens. I have a bottle of champagne in my basement reserved for the moment they get arrested. And then I'll stream without any type of contestment or anything like that. Have a good one, Uncle Howdy. Yeah, I didn't have a choice in my name, though. My parents were huge Star Wars fans. What are we doing again? Good will always triumph over evil. What's the matter, man bun? Don't like what I'm doing with the place? I do not know who you are, but I do not care for your tone. Yeah, I get that a lot. No worries, Marissa, you're fine. I wouldn't have talked about it if it didn't happen tonight. My topics are always cause and effect. Something happens, I talk about it. If people would just leave me alone, I'd probably never talk about it. But it's constantly in my orbit. You know, this happens like so much. But it's too late. People have already made an enemy of me, and I'm hunting them. I will hunt them to the ends of the earth. Until I get them. No matter what. I'm not stopping. Okay. What did we need to do in this section? Just taunt before the match ends. Hit the enemy with 5 dash attacks. Okay. So we have to have Beetlejuice land so we can hit him. There's 1. Two. 3. Whoops. 4. 5. I think that's 5 dash attacks. Was there anything else we needed to do? Hit the enemy, do 50 damage. Oh. Yoink. Nicely done. Actions have consequences. That's right, Chad. I mean, people didn't want to make an enemy of me. They should have left me alone. Because I don't just like, oh, I'm just not like, ah, it's just internet stuff. It's like, no. The more it kept happening over the years, I kept looking into, like, what type of help can I get? Like, what do I need to do? Do I need to hire a private investigator? Do the police handle this? What does my state deal with cyber terrorism? Like, and according to Pennsylvania, which, boo-hoo to the terrorist, but it's actually considered a cybercrime that's listed as cyber terrorism for obstructing a business's ability to make money. And since we are a legal United States business and not individuals, they're royally screwed because the state of Pennsylvania will literally take them to court, expedite them from the state they live in, and put them in the Pennsylvania court and fine them up to, I believe it's $250,000 per incident. So $250,000 per incident. And literally, we've been DDoSed for 3 years, so that's a lot of moolah right there. That's just for damages. And then on top of tampering with equipment, both police equipment, the cyber company, and my equipment, that's about 25 years in prison for a federal crime. And also, you have to remember, too, that in order to attack somebody, you have to go through their internet provider. So they're actually attacking our internet provider as well. And the internet provider is hunting them, too. So you have like 3 or 4 different agencies that are hunting these people. And they will not rest because everybody's losing money. Losing money, losing time, losing peace. Because that's what you have to do. You have to fight back. You cannot just allow things to happen. So my philosophy is you fight. That's what you do. Yeah, that was not fun. I don't know. It was I don't even know why they did. It was a thing in the 90s that bullies did. It was very humiliating too. And the school wouldn't do anything about it because they were like juvenile. So, long story short, when I knocked that kid out, I believe I got suspended in 5th or 6th grade for a while. I don't remember. But it was worth it. My dad was proud of me because I stood up for myself. The school was trying to say that I was a violent individual, but it's like, I mean, literally, they could see the bruises all over my arms and stuff. And remember, my arms were not in the best shape because I'd broke them, and I had like what was known as underdeveloped arms because of the terrible accident before going into grade school. So like I was actually taking the school was required to give me like physical therapy for my arms and stuff like that. So I wasn't scrawny by choice. I had problems. So the bully thought it was funny to make fun of like the length of my arms and stuff like that, and just I don't know. I mean, I later found out that bully had a very hard life. His parents were divorced. His dad drank. His dad was abusive. I felt for him later on, but I still laid him out, and I don't regret it. I think that was the only way that it was ever going to stop, for one, and the reason why a lot of bullies hurt people is because they're going through a lot of pain and suffering themselves. It's psychological fact. Majority of bullies, they have miserable lives and they inflict pain on others so that they can have some semblance of normalcy. Or rather, they can share their pain that they're experiencing with people who don't normally experience pain. So they find somebody to torture, basically, because I don't know, they're either living out that person's pain and it makes them feel good, or they feel good knowing that someone else is just as miserable as they are. There's a whole psychological aspect to it. Kind of like, how criminals are a superstitious, cowardly lot. They're very skittish and stuff when they commit horrible crimes. The the thing for Batman that I think that kind of opened the door for me, because remember, I tried to be a police officer, but I studied psychology, criminology, and a bunch of other stuff because I did want to. I was going to be like a super cop, but I was not accepted because of my eyesight, which was a really hard thing for me because my grandfather basically taught me everything there was to know to ace the police exam. And, you know, as well as I was reading books by detectives, like actual police detectives, police stories, not like Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. I'm talking like I actually read police reports that were turned into novelizations on like actual cases, like mysteries and theft and murder and all this other stuff, because I thought that, hey, you know, I have such this like thing of justice, and there are so many cops in my family, and I have no idea what I'm going to do for a job, so guess I'll become a cop. I'd been studying and doing all this stuff for years because I thought that I could actually be a benefit to society or something. And then lo and behold, I find out my eyesight is so bad that I can't join the military or be a police officer. So then I was like, okay, I guess I'll become a rent-a-cop. And the funny thing is, I was able to become a security guard because their bar was so low. But I was also a problem for the security agency because I was trying to incorporate everything I was going to learn at the police academy as a security officer, and they didn't like that, so they got me out of there real fast because they thought I was going to be a risk or put somebody at risk or take like gambles and, you know, take risks that wouldn't normally be what they would do. Also, you know, I had a background in martial arts and things like that, so I probably would have been a pretty big problem for any type of security agency. So the only thing for me to do after that was I got into radio, basically, and just, I don't know, used my voice. But I never got to do what I wanted to do. I wanted to be I wanted to actually help the public, but it never happened. Never got to serve my country, and I never got to serve my community because my eyesight's just too bad. But before we got DDoS, someone was asking me about the cat allergies because I was sneezing something fierce. Um, why do I have cats? Because my wife likes cats. She doesn't say it very often, but cats make her happy. She likes them. She likes to snuggle them. I do have allergy problems. Like I have the type of cat allergies that my eyes water a lot. I sneeze, and I have like a little bit of coughing, but not like severe breathing difficulties. So that's why living with cats is not a problem. Also, we compromised and we looked up cats that have non-allergies. So Shadow, Tink, and Zelda are all hypoallergenic. And of course, you know, Shadow and Tink are long gone. But Zelda is a hypoallergenic, so she's allowed in the bedroom. And Linky was a cat that is a short hair tabby. So ever since Link moved in a year or two ago, I have had a lot of allergy or allergic flares pop up because he is an actual cat, like a real cat with cat dander and stuff like that. So how we combat this, again, because I don't have life-threatening stuff with cat allergies. Some people do. Some people like, you know, a cat allergy is like shellfish allergy or something. It's really bad. But for me, it's minimal. So what I do is while I'm around the cats in like a big open space, Link is not allowed in our bedroom, and Amber and I both wear night clothes or bed clothes or whatever in our bedroom, and then outside of our bedroom we wear different clothes. So basically, like, we just wear our jammies and stuff in the bedroom, and then like any type of like Link contaminated stuff we don't take in the bedroom, and I breathe fine in the bedroom. Because a lot of people, they've had studies that people with cat allergies or dog allergies or any type of pet allergy, if you bring into your bedroom, like your safe place or whatever, the allergens that you deal with on a day-to-day basis, you are going to make your allergies worse. So in order to combat that, because again, I'm smarter than the average bear, We just wear our like bedroom clothes in the bedroom, like our jammies only in the designated bedroom area, and then outside of the bedroom we both like wear our normal, jeans and whatever clothes for outside of the bedroom. And then if we're wearing our jammies and stuff, we don't come downstairs so we can get cat hair all over us, and it's worked fine. And as soon as Link actually goes upstairs to once a week, we vacuum. But downstairs, and especially the basement, like he sheds everywhere in the basement, so I can't go in the basement. Basement is too much shedding. But I also take over the counter allergy stuff if I have to. So I have Benadryl and I have some other stuff here. If it like gets to the point where it's like my chest is kind of heavy because Link is a snuggle kitty. Like he will climb up on you and he'll be all like, nice and sweet or whatever, because he doesn't understand that he's hurting me because he's a cat. Um, and it's not his fault. That's how he was made. He has regular cat dander and other things, but he's a sweetheart. He'll crawl up in your lap and he'll, look at you like he wants to be petted and stuff like that. He's a nice kitty. And Amber always wanted an orange tabby. I love my wife a lot, and she's wanted to have an orange cat for so long because of the story with the wooden cat, which I'm sure you guys might remember that. I think that was one of the core bases for her wanting to have an orange kitten, is because what happened to her when she was little. Her family gave away the little orange kitten that was promised to her out of the litter, because my wife lived in a farm when she was really little. When Amber was born until she was like 4 or 5 years old, she lived in a farm. And they had a farm cat, or whatever, house cat, or whatever it's called. And the cat had kittens. They had a whole litter. And the parents couldn't keep all the kittens, which usually happens, right? So the plan was they were going to give the kittens away, but Amber was allowed to pick out the kitten that she really wanted. So Amber picked out this cute little orange tabby that was the runt of the litter, and he was super cute. And I don't know the name of the cat. She never got to name him. And her mom and dad said that she could have that cat. But what happened is they ended up giving the cat away to a little girl at their church who was like the pastor's daughter or something. I forget what it was, but it's some type of like, chain of command or whatever. Amber got like the really stupid cat instead that ended up actually getting killed on the road, and it broke Amber's heart. But they gave the cat that she was promised. So Amber's always very hesitant around people who make promises to her, because she always thinks that, okay, people aren't going to fulfill their promises. And so when I fulfill my promises, which I have for 18 years for her, it makes her happy, because like, at least with me, if I say, yeah, you can get a car, or let's work toward this, or let's do that, she's like, the one thing that she always wanted was an orange cat, and with my allergies, it wasn't really possible. So it's like I took the bullet, basically, and I got the orange cat. And yeah, I have a little bit of problems with it, but she's very happy with Link. He snuggles with her all the time. She lets him, like, he lets her pick him up. He does not let me pick him up. If I pick him up, he puts his head backwards like he's an owl, and he tries to bite me. But Amber can pick him up and cuddle him like he's a little baby. He's a little spoiled brat for her, but for me, he's a terror. So, but that's sometimes what you have to do in relationships. You have to compromise, and Link makes her really happy, so who am I to be like, you can't have that orange cat. And, had their meeting not gone well, I was kind of hoping that when Amber met the orange cat that they wouldn't be like really good friends or Amber wouldn't fall in love with him, but she fell in love with him at first sight. So it was like, okay, I'm going to have to, start taking Benadryl and do some other stuff to make it work. So that's what I did. Pretty much. What's the verdict? We having fun yet? Because I better tell you, I'm just getting started. You're preaching to the choir there, pal. You should probably go to a channel that's lost, my friend. I already know the gospel. I'm not gonna knock what you're doing, but like, I would just probably, go to some other YouTube channel and do that kind of stuff, because it's important to attend to the sick and leave the well alone, as the old saying goes. Also, my channel's not super preachy. I am a Christian that's a part of the game industry, but I am not, like, it is not my basis to preach to people. If they give me an opening to talk about it, I gladly will, but I don't force it on people. I let my light shine in people's lives, and if they ask questions, then that gives me an opportunity to talk about my testimony or whatever, but I don't force it. I never have. And people are free to ask me questions, and, like, I can open a dialogue with them in DMs or something sometimes, which I have, but I've never done that kind of stuff in my videos, and I don't plan on starting, because this is my job right now. But, I appreciate what you're doing, but this is the wrong channel to do that on, so. If I see it again, I'm going to time you out and erase stuff. Whoa. And whack. What were we supposed to do here, Marissa? Have the ghosts, like, hit them or something? Yeah. Shoot, I'm getting hit by the ghosts more than anything else. There we go. I'm alive. Oh, okay, never mind. Whoops. Uh-oh. Oh, that's not good. Somehow I don't think the ghost hit these guys. I think the ghost hit me more than anybody else. Well, I won't know until we finish this level. If we finish this level. Uh-oh! Well, that's not good. Whoa! Well, that's not good. Well, it's not necessarily forcing your beliefs. If somebody comes and talks to you and is like, "Hey, I've heard you're a Christian," that is like an opportunity for me to open up and, talk about my testimony and all this other stuff. But I don't, like, my channel is centered around games. It's not a Christian channel. I am a Christian. I'm a believer, but I don't have, like, Bible verses posted anywhere. I'm very private with my faith. I have talked to people that have, especially there's been several suicidal people we've helped over the years. Amber and I both witnessed to them, and talked with them and stuff like that when they had problems. We've had people who, like, lost a family member and contact us, and we pray with them, and, we share the gospel and stuff like that. But that's in a private setting. I don't use my place of business to do that. And most places of business that has, because there's Christians all over the world, right? You probably walk into a Christian business without even realizing it, because, I mean, it's just that person is a believer, but their job is not, like, it's not a Christian job. It's not like it's a church or something like that. If it's a church, I totally understand that. I'm a PK. If anybody knows what that means, it means a pastor's kid. My dad was in the ministry for 40 years. So, I'm well aware of all this stuff, but at the same time, I don't technically have a ministry. I'm a retired game journalist that's a streamer. I have a game-oriented business. I don't really get into a lot of religious stuff, except, like, when some really bad stuff have happened, I've been very open about my faith, or I prayed it with people, but I don't do topic videos about like the Bible or anything like that because it's not what my business is about. So it's always weird when I have like people randomly come to my channel, and it infuriates me when that happens, like when people like post Bible verses and stuff at me because they're saying I'm not a good Christian, or they're saying I'm a bad person, or they're saying I've had a lot of my haters call me a false prophet, which really ticks me off. Um, because like I'm not doing anything that I feel like I'm doing what God wants me to do, which is why we get so much opposition from evil people, is because like literally we're a thorn in the side of evil people. Like just us existing and being in this space as like open believers like really upsets people. And that to me is, you know, the hot coals on their head philosophy. That's good enough for me. That feels like that's where God wants us to be, is because we cause a stirring in people's hearts just by existing. People see us and they're like, they've been married 18 years. That's weird. How are they married 18 years? How do they interact online? How do they treat each other? Are they kind to each other? What's it like? You know, their live streams are so different than other people's. Like, what's this about them that makes them who they are? And what makes us who we are is Christ. But we don't go out of our way to, you know, hammer that point home. It's more of kind of like a seeing and believing type thing, experiencing it yourself, you know? Does that make sense? That's how we do things. Because, you know, just us existing causes people to talk about us all the time, both good or bad. uh, anyway, before I forget, short is up. Um, but that's just how I handle things. You know, I don't. The only reason I'm even talking about this, like, I have ADD and stuff. So like, when we get DDoSed, I talk about DDoSing. I've had a dude came and he was dropping Bible verses all over my stream. I am My mind is very easily influenced on stuff, and I can like switch topics so quickly. It's because of like just how I am. Like that's what ADD is. Which drives Amber crazy. It's like, why are you even talking about that? It's like, it happens because it's like I see something, whether I spend like 40 minutes talking about something somebody said in the chat about a comic book character that has no relation to the game I'm playing, or, you know, somebody comes by and starts dropping Bible verses and other things, and I start talking about how I am personally. So it's like, did God give me the ability to start opening up about myself, or am I supposed to chastise this person? It's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So but anyway, I totally forgot, guys. The YouTube short is up. Uh, and Marissa, I'll play with you again in a sec. I have to advertise my short. I totally forgot about that. So basically, what I did for tonight's short, guys and gals, is the Batman trailer was 2 minutes long, so I cut it up into parts. The first part I got up to, I think it was like 50 seconds, and this one is at 43, which, you know, total comes out to like 2 minutes and something when you combine it, something like that. So I cut it up into two parts because I didn't really have any. My phone's not working right now, so I didn't record a new cat short. I don't even know what to call this. What did I call this short? So 11 people have watched the short so far. I have not advertised it, so I need to go do that real quick. But the thing that you'll know about me, or learn about me, is as the poster child of ADD, I am very, which I think makes me a good streamer. It's very easy for me to get into various topics, or to discuss things that I'm seeing in front of my eyes and experiencing, like with gaming and talking about like the game I'm playing or all this other stuff. Whereas Amber has like strict topics that she's on, and then when she gets interrupted, she can go back to that, and she'll even wait like 20 minutes until a cutscene's over, and then she'll immediately go back to talking about whatever it is she was interrupted or she didn't get to finish her thought. Whereas I constantly change things all the time based on what's actually happening in front of my eyes. That's an ADD thing. We're like really easily not just distracted, but like we want to talk about the thing that is just now happening. Like I could literally talk about like dodge attacks now or something, but I have to advertise my short. So priorities, right? Yeah, because I totally forgot the short was actually going up at 11 o'clock. My bad. Um. I don't even know what to call this. I guess we'll call it Batman has had enough. I don't know. He says it in the trailer. So we do that. Then we go to Twitter. Titans turned evil. Where is the Batman thing I did a few days ago? Sunless Zero. Nope, 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 nope. Gamescom. Nope, 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 nope. Can't really find my Batman trailer that I made the other day. It's not there anymore. So I guess I'll have to use something else that I did. I'm also trying to figure out what in the world am I going to do tomorrow. Because I finished the X-Men game. I guess I could try to look for... Supposedly there's an indie game we're going to start. This can't be Gotham. Heads Up Freaks. This can't be Gotham. This can't be Gotham. This can't be Gotham. This can't Chill the Night. Chill Night. Where is the Arkham thing? Did I never make one? Huh. Well, I guess I'll just do this one. Okay. And don't worry, guys. The musical interlude and the DDoSing stuff will be cut from the stream anyway. But I mean, I'll still probably go, quote, off on a tangent with stuff at one point. Because, like, I get pretty heated when stuff happens. That's just how I am. Batman has had enough. Arkham Shadow. That works. Yeah. Okay. Oh, man has had enough. Do this. Do that. Well, I did my part. It was a very good short. I mean, it's a commercial basically, but I think I did a pretty good job like getting the ratio correct. You have to remember it's actually with the whole YouTube Shorts thing, it's kind of hard to get the ratio just right. I do the best I can, but it has to be at 9:3, and when I render these things, I have to mess around with stuff. Finally, all right. Look at that, Marissa. We're actually getting some fighter currency and all that good stuff. Way to go, us. Yeah. Okay. Yep. It's so weird that they have so many aspects of the battle pass, or not battle pass. The rifts are closed off now. Like there used to be so many different rifts you could do. You could do experience, you could do crushing. I also don't like the fact that you can't unlock a character through the rift. I mean, that gave a lot of replay value. At least that's my personal opinion on it. I feel like you got a lot of like reasons to keep playing Multiversus, as well as I had a lot of reasons to keep streaming it because I wasn't spending money. I was playing the rifts on like experience, crushing, insanity, and loony difficulties, and I was making a lot of various streams on this game. But then when season 2 came around, they changed how the mechanics of the rifts worked, and now the rifts in general are just much shorter, you know? And they're not they don't really have the type of reward system in place that they used to. So I don't really like that. But that's just my personal opinion on it, you know? But that's just where I am with that. It's just kind of like I liked how they did it before. I feel like it was better handled. And it also gave more incentive to, you know, kind of try to unlock the battle pass sooner and all this other stuff. Now I've been pretty lazy with the battle pass. Like you know, we've been doing a lot with the battle pass, but we're almost done with it, you know? So I am doing Zenless tomorrow. Yes, Marissa. Zenless is still active on the channel. It's just you have to what you guys need to know too. When E3 and a Nintendo Direct and now Gamescom, when that stuff happens, those big press events that you are legally allowed to live stream, we're going to live stream that stuff. PlayStation State of Play, Xbox stuff. So if a series falls on the date of one of those major events, most likely a stream series will be moved to another day so that we can focus on the new thing that's happening. And just like in general, like Zenless Zone, I know Amber has said this too, but I think I need to hammer this point home as well. Zenless is a filler series. It doesn't do that well. It averages about 1,000 views after 24 hours, something like that, which is not bad, but it's not a heavy hitter. And also, they're going to keep adding content into that game for a while, so we kind of want to have that game as, like, not just a backup, but something we do a few times a week going forward. But September, October, November, December, January, and February, we are going to be very busy with all kinds of new games. So if Zenless does happen, it'll be on the weekends or something that we can do an extra stream for that. Because, like, there's just so much stuff that's going to be coming out that is going to be our top priority. Like, we can't afford to miss out on that because, I mean, this month alone, we've only picked up 90 subscribers. Like, we're almost at the end of August, we're at 90 subs. There hasn't been enough new games to drive us into the search engine. And for people on social media, where our big advertising is on Facebook and Twitter, people see us and they click on us on Twitter and then they come here. That's how we get new subscribers. But people are like fervently searching for new content, and there is no new content. Like, literally, we've been milking Multiversus, playing GameCube games. We played 3 different GameCube games this summer. GameCube games from 20 years ago. We did some indie games. We did some Steam games and a bunch of other stuff. We did whatever we could to try to keep the channel stable, but we're going to be rolling out and covering a lot of new games, and some of those games are going to be hit or miss. I personally think the Star Wars game is going to be bad. Like, I think that the Star Wars game, in terms of quality, is going to be just like the Acolyte. It's going to be a dud. But, you know, we're working with Ubisoft on that game, so I'm going to try to keep my opinions either very wordy so that people don't understand what I'm saying, and sarcastic and punny so I can get away with stuff. But I'm going to be very objective and not so much negative, because my wife worked really hard to get a contract with Ubisoft for that game. So I'm not going to go and burn bridges, because that would make me a terrible husband. Because she's actually really trying to learn the whole PR thing and promoting us and things like that. And I don't want to take that away from her, because that would be something that wouldn't be cool, because she's been trying for over a year to, you know, get her name out there. And it's very hard with the state of the channel the way it is. So, you know, I want to show her that I can not mistake her trust, for one, and not throw all her hard work so I can grandstand and make fun of a game I know is going to be bad. Just for the lulz. That wouldn't be good of me. Like, people have asked me though, like, how have you and Amber been married for 18 years? It's like we really do love each other. Like, most people don't stick around just for sticking around. Like, we don't have kids, so we don't have any like, there's no attachment that would force us to, do what the typical American life is, like, for a marriage to last as long as ours. Like, we've had two children pass away, we believe. Definitely one, but it's possible we lost a child, like, in pregnancy in Massachusetts. We're not sure though, because we never went to the hospital for it. Went to the hospital for the Pennsylvania incident, and they did the surgery or whatever there, um, or whatever happens in a miscarriage. They had her in the hospital. Everything happened. I don't. I just know there was a lot of blood, and I was very I was very out of it. But I was there when it happened. So that hit us very hard, and also seeing the little guy was hard. Um, but technically, for most people, they don't see how we can be together the way we are when we don't have anything like keeping us together. Because Amber technically could leave at any time. Like, the ring means a commitment, but it's not like something that forces that type of relationship. It's a lot different than like just boyfriend and girlfriend and fiance. Marriage is a big commitment, but at the same time, it's something that we work at every day. Like, we love each other, and we have good days, we have bad days, but the most important thing is we try to work things out. We try to talk and communicate, and we also, just try to be, I don't know, not necessarily nice, but just be there for one another as best we can, as humanly possible. And that's how we've had a long lasting marriage that, you know, we're not roommates. Some people call us roommates. We're not roommates. I'm not going to get into private things, but we're very happy together, and we are a married couple. We just don't talk about things because it's not really appropriate to do that on the internet. It's never a good thing when people are flashing their private lives in front of people. It's like there's some things that need to remain private and what's the word I'm looking for? Special between a couple. Like, it's not something that you should be talking about personally, and that's why we don't ever talk about certain things. Because it's, for an online world, it's not something that we should really be doing. What's the verdict? We having fun? Because I better tell you, I'm just getting started. That's why I think Amber and I would work really well in, like, living in Japan or something, because I think we get that whole mentality of, like, really no PDA and, keeping everything private at home and stuff like that. Although I probably get in trouble for holding my wife's hand, because I hold my wife's hand in public and I hug her. So I don't know how Japan would feel about that. Because when we go grocery shopping, it's like I hold her hand, rub her back sometimes. I give her hugs. Sometimes, like, I joke around with her quite a bit in the grocery store because she's so small. Our height difference is funny. She's 5'2", I'm 6'4", so it's funny. It's like when she tries to grab stuff in the grocery store, it's like I do, just the sight of her, like, trying really hard to get something on sale that's really high up. It's funny to me. And it will never not be funny to me because she's so small. And then I just, like, kind of walk over. I don't even say anything. I don't bring attention to it. And I just grab the item that she was so, desperately trying to pick up. Like it's nothing. And she just, like, kind of, like, looks at me, like, kind of annoyed, like, it's cute. Because, she doesn't like the fact I'm tall. She kind of wishes she was tall sometimes. Or maybe just a little bit taller. But that's how I help out. Like, I'm big, so I can help her reach the stuff she can't get. Ow. Wow, these guys are rough. So far, guys, about 150 of you have watched tonight's YouTube short. So if we could get those short views up, that'd be fantastic. I don't know if I'm doing another stream tonight after Multiversus because, like, we have a 9 a.m. stream tomorrow of Xbox. And Amber's really excited about that one because it's going to be Indiana Jones and... I don't remember. We almost got it, Marissa. Or, never mind. Oh, man, these ghosts, man. These ghosts. There's one guy that has 100. I got him, I think. Or not. You got him? I got him. He didn't die. Whoa, there you go. Nicely done. Well, yeah, private things are special. That's why, you know, I never really understood or liked when YouTubers would talk about their private lives and, like, think that that's, like, a winning thing because you're taking something that's special to your wife or your partner and then you're kind of, like, you know, boasting about it or taking something that was special and sacred to the both of you and you're out there, you know, just, like, telling everybody about it. So that's why we've never done that kind of stuff. I've heard all kinds of people call us, like, so many weird things, like our detractors, and saying how Amber and I just, like, live together and we're not, like, a real married couple. We're, like, a cult couple. And it's like, we've had 2 pregnancies, you know? It's like, how did that happen? Magic? I don't know. I wish that I had more intelligent haters sometimes. Because, I don't know. Jeez, you gotta loosen up. I don't know who needs to take a vacay more, you or me. I'll stop now. I don't want to get into weird territory. What happened to the music in the game? Is it busted? Oh, the music is the music working now? You practice in this game? Yeah, you're doing great, Marissa. Doing really good. So the most important thing we gotta do tonight, guys, is we gotta push the short. We got 196 views on the short, so we gotta push it. I don't even know what to call. The short went up at 11 o'clock, so it's 11:30 right now. Let's do the map one. Well, I can continue Elder Scrolls Blades. Holy cow, that's... Did you just come from a time-traveling machine? Because that was quite a while ago. I liked Elder Scroll Blades. That was cool, but nobody watched that series. I enjoyed it, though. But you have to remember, like, the state of this channel, a lot of the things that we would like to do, we can't do. Because it's all dependent on the audience. If the audience doesn't watch stuff, there's no interest in it, for one, and 2, we don't get paid. So, I mean, we're not really that hard to figure out. Both the Elder Scrolls Blade thing and the Dark Souls things that I've done over the years, nobody watched them. I personally love the heck out of those games, but, you know, people don't really watch people based on their personalities. I think my audience does, but my audience is, like, limited to people that know who I am. It's really hard for people who don't know me to find me. So, you know, I'm basically working with an audience that's known me for almost my entire career. Outside of, you know, a couple new people that come and then they end up becoming super fans and they stick around for about 5-6 years and then they disappear, or they grow out of watching YouTube, or, you know, who knows what happens. You know, life is complicated. It changes all the time. You never know. People come and go all the time. That's life. But a lot of our regulars are still around. But people have particular tastes in games that they really like. Like, I'm really excited about Monster Hunter next year, but I don't know how well those streams are going to do. I'm terrified to think about that. But, just like, for whatever reason, people like watching the Multiversus streams. I don't know why. Like, I mean, it's the same game. A little bit of new content. It's basically like community streams where I play with people. One sec. Let me tell you, I've been meaning to take a tropical vacation forever. Little sand, little sun. Spread a little chaos. Just what this ghost needs. You watched my monkey ball thing? Wow.
Let's get this started.
But even though we're shadow banned, the thing that we've done that is kind of unprecedented is we have, like, I think 17,000 videos. So even as a shadow banned channel, like, we would have disappeared years ago if we only had a few thousand videos. Like, we have almost 20,000 videos. So daily, some of our old content is going to randomly pop up in somebody's feed somewhere. Because, you know, there's like millions of people watching YouTube every day, right? So the likelihood of someone, like 1 or 2 or maybe 50 or 1,000 people seeing some of our old videos or seeing a live stream, anything is possible. Now, does that mean like a lot of people are going to see us every day? No. Like, on average, it's about probably 30,000 people a day from all over the world. It's not a very high number because we used to get about 100,000 people a day finding our content and stuff like that. Because that's, you know, these views are coming somewhere that you're getting for your things. So we average anywhere between 30 to 40,000 views a day, which is not bad for a shadow ban channel. Usually that's supposed to be like 0 or 10,000. You would look at my 01 channel and be like, oh yeah, the 01 channel shadow ban. No, it's not. It's just, it doesn't have enough content to, you know, have longevity. If Warner Brothers made Arkham games after Arkham Knight, let's just say they made like mediocre Batman games, that channel would still be popping in the search engine because people are still adamantly watching Arkham content. For the most part, that channel is kind of like an archive channel where people are watching Arkham content archived, but there's really not as big of an interest on YouTube search engine as there used to be for Batman games because Warner Brothers dropped the ball. They fumbled. Had they not fumbled, that channel would have constantly continued to make revenue because, for one, it's not shadow banned, and it had a very high topic search, which was Batman. But because the Arkham games kind of disappeared and then like their reputation went down, the Arkham games don't really circulate in the search engine as much. And Arkham Videos goes through the same thing. Like, his Arkham videos don't do as well as they used to. He used to get millions of views. Now he gets like, I think it's like 30, 40, sometimes 60,000. And we've talked about this before, he and I. And we both believe that Warner Brothers kind of like, if they would have continued to not necessarily milk out, but provide like somewhat quality or like prequel games or something like that, the Arkham games would continue to thrive on YouTube. And the only ones that are really keeping the Arkham stuff alive is me and him, to some extent. So, you know, it's a fun topic that we go through and we discuss sometimes, because we do talk from time to time. And it's just, you know, we're both like, I think he said he's my age. I've never actually heard AV's voice. I've only ever talked to him for 10 years with texts. I've never heard his voice, and I've never been comfortable asking him if we can actually, you know, call. Because I know he lives overseas, because there was one time I was very depressed about something, and I said I wanted to talk, like not text. And I was like, I don't mind calling. If you're international, I'll accept the charges. He's like, no, he says, I don't want you to do that. He says, it'd be too expensive a call because I'm located over here. I'm definitely overseas. So it's like, that's all I know about the guy. Is I know he's either in the United Kingdom, or he's in Germany, or he's in France or something like that. It's one of those. Like, he's an international guy. I know that. But I've never heard his voice. And I'm never going to pressure him either. Like, you know, he's gone out of his way all these years to remain anonymous, so I'm not... There are some content creators that they don't want people to know who they are because they feel like if people know who they are, then they're going to lose a piece of themselves. So they just don't want the public to really know them. They like making content, but they keep their internet life and their real life separate. And, you know, Pack Attack is the same way, which is fine. I mean, you know, content creators have their own ways of doing things. Me, you know, I am a content creator that uses my voice. I don't like showing up in live action, though. I feel like, you know, it's very weird for me to be on webcam. And I know that it can improve my videos, but I don't like doing it. Like, every once in a while, it's like, if I feel like I need to do something, I'll put on cat cam or something. But I don't like webcams. Like, it's not something I'm comfortable with. Amber doesn't like them. And it's weird whenever we did stuff because if you go back and you watch some of our older videos where we did do webcam stuff and experimented with it for live streams, Amber is very expressive and I'm not. My voice is expressive, but my emotions don't change. Like, I have the same look on my face all the time, and Amber makes fun of it a lot. But my voice is very character driven. You know, I have, like, you can tell that I'm expressing certain types of emotion through my voice, but my facial features are very, like, you know, just kind of like the main character of the Acolyte. It's not expressive. And people used to make fun of that too. So, you know, I wasn't really strong enough to deal with people on the internet, like, making fun of me a lot when I would do live streams. So I guess I kind of took the coward's way out, and I was like, I'm not, you know, I just don't like it. But I have no problem with people hearing my voice, because I think my voice is pretty cool. See, I'm telling you, people just don't appreciate what I'm trying to do here. Does it have a little more of the formaldehyde smell? Sure. But if you ignore that, we got some wicked fun games and crap, too. Yeah, you found the channel by accident. A lot of people do. I mean, we have people coming to the channel all the time. Like I said, we have a traffic of about 40,000 like views a day. That, you know, somehow some people are watching our videos. But before we got shadow banned, instead of like 1 million views monthly, we had like 6 to 7 million views monthly and about 100 to 150,000 views a day. That was quite a bit, you know? And I missed that because we would have all kinds of new people and we'd have thousands of people in our live streams and stuff like that. But at the same time, we didn't really get to know our community the way that we have. So, I mean, Amber always tries to tell me, like, there's good and there was some good that happened from the hacking, but other than the amazing community that we've been able to have and meet, I'm not really good at seeing a lot of stuff. Like, I'm very pessimistic in nature, and my wife is very optimistic. We're two different people. we have two different ways of looking at life. She looks at life half full. I look at life half empty. So that's just how we are. I like listening to video game music. My wife can't stand video game music because she wants peace and quiet. So sometimes video game music will cause, especially if, like, we're done streaming for the day and I'm just, like, playing video game music in general, she'll come over and she'll, like, ask me to either put on headphones or turn it off if she's in the room because she doesn't like the sound of video game music because it brings back bad memories from her childhood because her brothers were really mean to her. Even though I've been really nice to her and I've shown her that, you know, gamers can be nice people and not like her brothers or whatever, there's still kind of this hesitant thing with her about video games a little bit because, you know, she had the typical brothers that are like, you're a girl, you can't play video games. Which I believe that anybody who wants to play video games should be able to play video games, right? I think video games are great for people who are like kids and adults and girls or guys. I've even seen goldfish play video games. Don't ask me how, but I've seen it. I've seen cats and goldfish. Whoever wants to play games, I think games is a Oh gosh, a very accessible, fun thing. Move. It's also, what I love about video games is how freeing it is. It's, you know, something that no two person is going to play the game the same way. Like, I have my own style playing video games. People have their own style of doing things. I do weird stuff that maybe you've picked up in games. I like to, every once in a while, especially in my live streams and just Let's Plays in general, have you ever noticed how I zoom in on the character? Like, I'll have a character stand by either at the beginning or the end of the video, and I'll zoom in on them. Like, I'm one of the only people that really does that. Like, I have the character from the game come up to the television screen, and I did it numerous times during the Wolverine streams that I just finished. But that's something that I've always done. Like, if it's possible for a 3D game character to come up to the screen, I always do that. That's kind of my own little signature style. Some people notice that I've done it ever since Arkham, but I used to do it before Arkham. Nice job, Marissa. Alright, so how we doing with the Arkham short, by the way? Probably gonna have to push that pretty hard. Yeah, we're gonna have to push that. So remember, guys, how YouTube Shorts work? It's a completely different, like, thing. I worked for 4 different publications. I worked for Got Game. I worked for We Live. I worked for Game Zone. And I worked for a subsidiary of OneUp.com. I can't remember the name of it, but it was owned by OneUp. And I almost got to work at OneUp, but then they got bought by IGN. My dream job was to work for IGN, and I was building up my credibility and my portfolio to work for IGN, but the YouTube network I was in at the time crushed my dream and burned my bridge with IGN to cinders. So, with Game Zone, I was a video editor. With Got Game, I was a reporter. And I guess with the other publications, I was a reviewer. The We Company, that's long gone, We Live, I was their Game Boy Advance, which is weird. I never understood why they just didn't call themselves a Nintendo site. They called themselves We Live, and they didn't have any live aspects to the site. But I was one of the writers on that site, and I also worked for, I'm trying to remember the name of it, a Game Boy Advance publication, but I can't remember the name of it. It was over 20 plus years ago. I only worked for them for 2 years. But I moonlighted at 3 different companies at one time, which nobody cared about back in the day. I could get away with it. But I think the hardest thing about, like, looking back on my, like, old times as a journalist is most of the websites that I was a part of are long gone. Like, they've all been erased. I think Game Zone is still around, but they erased my content, like, when people started to spread nasty rumors about me, like, 6 years ago. They took all my content I ever made and the website erased it. And they made, like, a stance saying, like, blah, blah, blah about this individual and stuff like that. Because cancel culture was very big 6-7 years ago because Twitter would make things trend and they could pressure people. And nowadays, Elon Musk has, it's really hard to trend things, as well as for the person who's being, like, canceled to defend themselves. You can actually defend yourselves now from cancel culture. And you don't get, it's like people are able to see 2 sides of a story instead of just one side. That was the problem with cancel culture, is, like, it was this big entity that was able to target and smear and harass the person, and the person wouldn't be able to actually defend themselves because the algorithm wouldn't let them defend themselves. So it would look like they're wrong because this other bigger tweet group or whatever is able to, you know, drown you. And nowadays, like, that doesn't happen as much. And also, it doesn't trend anymore. So these people, these haters are all, like, locked together in their own purgatory or echo chamber, which is a lot better. But because of that, some of my work was erased by a publication I used to work for, and that hurt a lot because I wrote like over 200 reviews for that website. And they just went and they went around with somebody on Twitter, and they announced that they removed all ties with me. And in reality, I hadn't worked for them in like 6 years. So they just kept my reviews up on their website because they were good reviews for those games. And then they made a grandstanding moment where they erased all my work. And I didn't have a backup of that stuff either. So that hurt. That was the biggest, I think, ouch that I ever had when people canceled me. Is I lost like so many years of my work that I wrote for that publication, and it would have been nice to be able to go back and read some of that stuff. I have a couple of those reviews that are like on an archived email somewhere, but, you know, no. Because I uploaded most of my reviews to that website. So they were gone, they were removed. So that sucked. No, it's okay. I mean, that's life. I mean,
let's get this started.
Another publication that I had great relationship with for, what was it, like 5 years? I worked for them for 5 years, I believe. They got bought out by some company, and they had been in the gaming space for like 20 years. Their website was completely erased. I had a person who was basically like the errand boy or something of the company ended up working his way up to editor, and he emailed me and he said, "Hey, can we talk?" And I'm like, "What's going on?" And he said, "I just want you to know I really appreciate what you did on the website back in the day." And I was like, "Oh, no problem." I said, "So what's this call about?" He says, we're closing." I was like, "What?" He says, "Yeah, Got Game is closing." I was like, "What do you mean you're closing? You guys have always been around. You guys outlived 1UP and game trailers and all this other stuff." And it's like, "Yeah." He says, "Well, Steve got bought out." I was like, "What?" I was like, "That's impossible, because, I mean, Steve would never sell." He's like, "Well, there's some stuff going on, but, you know, we sold. The site's over." It's like, "If there's anything you want from the site, let me know." And it was like, in all honesty, it's like a lot of my old work on that website I don't really want. It's not like those were written reviews. Those were really cringy video reviews. And I didn't have the best time doing those reviews and walkthroughs. Like my old boss guide for, what was the name of that game? I could not stand that game. Final Fantasy 13 and Dante's Inferno was on that website. And I was just like, no, I don't care. I don't want to. I really don't want any of those videos. There was a lot of live action videos too, where like I appeared at my desk and stuff like that, and you know, did the whole method that a lot of reviewers were doing back then. You would show up on camera, and I looked terrible in those, so it's like if those disappeared from the internet, I didn't really mind. But long story short, we talked a while. And then he told me that, you know, the site was going to be erased. And the day the site was erased, I tweeted about it on my Twitter. Because it was like, you know, and I wish the people I knew there well. And I ended up meeting up with some people that I used to work with. So it was like kind of like a mini reunion. But it was sad because, I mean, you know, that website was a pioneer because there was very few websites that did video game radio. And when I mean video game radio, I'm not talking about like... they played video game music. That was part of it. They also, the DJ, Steve Masters, basically like did video reviews on the radio, and you would hear his voice in Los Angeles, San Diego, Austin, Texas, Pensacola, Florida, Boston, Massachusetts, New York City, and I think Philadelphia and a couple other places, Chicago. Like, it was a national, well, not national, it was a Sirius satellite radio show. And I wrote some of his scripts. Like, I was the reviewer on that website, so I wrote the video reviews. And the challenging thing for me is I had to write for the radio segments. And I always wanted to do the radio segments because I had a thing in radio. And Steve told me, like, back in the day, if I'm ever, you know, sick or something, he says, we'll fly you down and... Because, you know, I was outsourced. Fly you down to California and you fill in for me for a week when I recover. He says, you got a good voice too. And I'm like, thanks, Steve. But it never happened. But anyway, I was the ghostwriter for that show every once in a while from like 2010 until 2012. I did a lot of the write-ups for the actual radio. So the biggest challenge for me is I had to take a big lengthy game review and condense it to a minute and a half. So, and I had to make it witty, and I had to make it with that radio charm. And then my boss had to approve it. So, I was, I did that on the side too for them. So there was a lot of stuff I did as a game journalist that I'm very proud of. But, there's also stuff that was going on even back then that I didn't really want to be associated with the field anymore. Like, it was starting to get crazy. And by 2014, I quit. Or rather, I retired. I just focused on my YouTube career. Technically, I'm still a journalist, I guess you could say, because I still have my U.S. press credentials, but, like, I don't have a game journalist website, and I don't have I'm not churning out video reviews all the time. I do very little video reviews. Once a year, maybe. For the most part, like, when I finish a live stream on a game, I will, like, when we finish a series, then I'll go through and I'll do like a 15-minute review during the credits. Have you noticed that? Like, I've always done that. I talk about the good and bad of the game and how I felt about it and stuff like that. So I still interject reviews into my work a little bit, but not until the end of the series. And even then, it's kind of like an open forum between Amber and myself, like talking about the pros and cons of what we thought about the entire experience of the game that we went through together. Right, So, I don't want to do this voice. Whoa, look, this little nerd on a power trip. Got a problem? Yeah, I got a problem with you. Yep, all that history gone because people got their feelings hurt. But I still have all my I have all my YouTube videos, so it's not like I have any regrets about that. I mean, I don't think my writing was really that good anyway, personally. And if my haters got a hold of my old work, they'd probably look at spelling errors or like sentence structure and just find ways of making fun of me, because, like, that's what woke people like to do, is they like to get on people's cases for making fun of fictional characters, but they have no qualms about actually making fun of people with real disabilities or whatever, because, that to them is the high ground. They'll go and they'll cancel people over opinions about video games and fictional characters, but if you notice, they're not gun-shy about actually insulting people. Like, they do it all the time. Like, they literally call my wife a blow-up doll, and they think they have some type of moral high ground. So, I mean, it's funny to me. It's like, I would think that a person that makes fun of fictional characters and cartoons and stuff would be a better person than someone that actually would think they have, like, some type of moral grandstanding, and they're actually making fun of living, breathing human beings. But I think these people are super backwards anyway, so.
Haven't had this much fun since the Black Plague.
I had to break up a big fight on my O1 channel the other day. It had quote, anti-woke and woke people fighting, and the woke people were, like, saying horrible things to one of my viewers who happened to be disabled. It was a guy in a wheelchair. They were telling him to kill himself. And it was like, I ended up banning all the woke people, and I believe, I mean, I haven't heard from the wheelchair guy in a while. But I did DM him on his Twitter, and I just was like telling him, hey, just letting you know, I think that you're a pretty cool person, and, don't let these weirdos, what they said, hurt your feelings too much, because, I mean, this is what they do. They're attack wolves. You leaped in and defended me, and then they came after you, and, they made fun of the fact that you can't walk. So, I mean, I don't see these culture warriors on the internet as good people, personally. Like, I've seen too much evidence to, like, just kind of, like, not pay attention to them anymore. Like, I see patterns and I see behavioral, like, as the same thing, and it, like, raises a lot of red flags for me and kind of raises my eyebrows. Like, they say they're good people, but a lot of them all behave like this. Oh, yeah. But that's why I don't like them. People are like, you just don't like people because of that. It's like, no, I don't like them because I honestly believe they're a cult. Like, that's why I don't like them. And why I don't ever want to get along with them or be associated with them. Is because I believe that in a civilized society, we can't be with that group of people. And if those people, like, are in power, then you're going to see laws change that are going to be very dangerous. They'll go after religious people and get them arrested. They'll try to have passages from the Bible ripped out. They're going to take our freedoms and liberties and just smash them to the ground so that they can live the way they want to. They're going to go after children. They're going to do all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, I don't like these people because I think they're very dangerous. And people, like, they're like, oh, you know, that kind of stuff's not going to happen. It's like anybody who gets in a position of power, they can do whatever they want. It doesn't really seem to be like a lot of like checks and balances these days. So it's kind of scary, you know. And just seeing how they act online, it kind of gives you an indication of how they'll actually act if they, you know, do end up running for office or they lobby people or whatever. Because, I mean, they follow a strict pattern. It's not hard to decipher who they are. Like, even right now with the whole Acolyte thing. Like, they're literally attacking people over the fact that their show that they watched got canceled. And they're saying the reason it got canceled is because people who don't like other people's skin color didn't watch the show. When in reality, the reason why people didn't watch the show is because the show did a bad job of getting Star Wars fans interested into it. Like, they don't have common sense, and they don't even have, like, actual logic. And they don't like the fact... YouTubers, for the most part, they're not necessarily truth tellers, but they are people that like to quote, like, others. That's kind of what they do. In fact, most journalists in the YouTube circuit, they, like, take other people's journalist work, and they, you know, just quote it back to them. And then when these journalists get mad of what was said about them... Literally, the YouTuber is using their own words against them. It's not like they're actually saying anything about them specifically. They're literally just saying what these people have already said. So either these people are not self-aware of what they're saying and doing, or they're like so delusional that they have no idea the words that they say that are problematic and cause dissension and problems. And then when somebody actually brings attention to what they said, then they get very defensive and they're like, you know, how dare this person harass me and all this other stuff. But it's not really harassment if you're literally saying what that person said. Like, it's public information, you know? It really feels like a lot of these journalists and activists don't even understand what being a journalist is. Like, a lot of these YouTubers who don't even have degrees and they've never worked for a real publication are better journalists than people that actually work for IGN or like Kotaku and some of these other places. Because, I mean, they're actually doing what journalists do. They get the sources, they get the receipts, they get the quotes, they get the locations of the quotes, they talk about what the person said or what the event was, and all these, like, actual professional journalists, they completely just, like, either try to hide the fact of something or they take attention away from it rather than actually speaking about what truth is. So, I mean, you know, and that's why I got out of the industry. I got out of the game industry in the journalist sense in 2014 because, like, it was becoming, I wouldn't say toxic, it was becoming very dishonest. Like, reviewers were doing a lot of plagiarism. I don't know if you guys remember that, but there were a lot of publications that were getting caught for plagiarizing YouTubers and smaller websites with their game reviews. And they would get called out on it, and it was like this whole thing. And that was ongoing from like 2014 through 2017. So, because I have such a big stickler for honesty and integrity and stuff like that, I couldn't work with publications that were doing that, nor did I want to be associated with colleagues that were plagiarizing things. So, I mean, that's why I left. It was, it wasn't because of the rise of feminism and all this other stuff. It's because it was getting very, very dishonest. Like, people weren't playing the games anymore. People were being very, what's the word I'm looking for? They were being very rude to Japanese game developers and writing smear articles. And, you know, that's kind of how Kotaku changed almost overnight. Like, they used to be a really good publication. I knew people there. And I respected people there because they were a website that at one point, their entire focus was on spotlighting international games. Like, they were a website, because a lot of us press in America, we couldn't get access to a lot of, you know, Japanese exclusive, Chinese or Korean games. And you had this publication, Kotaku, that their entire forefront was discussing, you know, imported products. And they garnered an audience from that, right? So then they, for whatever reason, they started to grandstand political stuff, and they started to plagiarize, and they started to do all this other stuff, and they completely just missed everything. And then a bunch of other publications started to do the same thing. IGN started to do plagiarism, and it was just like, literally the field that I loved was becoming corrupt. And it was like, I didn't want to be a part of it. It was just, I was done, you know? I had a lot of fun working with my wife, and then we just ended up working together full time. It's pretty much how it happened. I saw the writing on the wall, and I was like, I'm out. Because I know it's going to get worse. I always have these weird predictions. When I sense something, it's like a spider sense. When I sense something's going to get worse, it tends to. Like, it tends to reach a boiling point, and then it gets worse. Like, I saw, like, social media going rampant, like, in 2014, and I thought that someday it could grow to the extent of cancel culture, but it exceeded my expectations to a dangerous degree that I never even thought possible. But I saw social media going out of control even back in 2014 because, you know, it was like the Wild West. But even I had no idea it would go to the extents that it did. Like, I wish I knew, but I don't even know how people could have prepared for that, you know? Yep, IGN got caught with plagiarism. A bunch of them did. Somebody I worked with got fired over plagiarism because my boss wasn't going to work with it. They were like, this review is very similar to one that was posted a little while ago because the person we hired, I'm not going to say anything about their appearance or anything like that, but they were someone who, they got the job and they said they were a gamer, but like, they didn't know anything about gaming, and they wanted to become they wanted to use us to go to, like, a political analyst job or something like that. Like, they wanted to use us as a stepping stone for their, what do they call it? Their resume. So, you know, they were going to do something easy, but they didn't like gamers, they didn't like all this other stuff. And this is back in 2014. And I was working with this person. It was a lady, and she was insufferable. And as a gamer, it's like it didn't register for me because, remember, I was someone who started working in the game industry in the early 2000s, right? So, like, I was there for what I would consider peak journalism. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of puns. It was a lot of references to 80s and 90s pop culture. The games were really exciting to write about. Game culture was on a huge rise because it was becoming more socially acceptable by 2006. So, I mean, I had seen, like, a massive rise in, and not just game awareness, but, like, gamers becoming more acceptable. And, you know, our market just kind of exploded, basically. Because before, like it or not, I would argue that gamers were a niched market. Like, we were a very, I wouldn't say small group, because there was millions of us around the world, but we weren't as organized. It was thanks to places like Screw Attack, Game Trailers, and like Machinima and all these other places for basically giving gamers a place where they could, you know, commute, or not, what's the word I'm looking for? They could like gather together. And, you know, before we didn't really have places like that. So, and I almost ended up working with Screw Attack, but it didn't work out. Craig and I had different opinions about things, and it was never going to work out. But it was close. I ended up working more with Game Trailers than I did Screw Attack, because Screw Attack was moving away from Game Trailers anyway. So it was an easy in for me. And they liked my content. So that was fun. But then, like, unfortunately, YouTube kind of put Game Trailers out of business by, I think it was like 2012, 2011. And they were actually going to start paying me at Game Trailers. So that kind of sucked. They liked my Batman content. Anyway. You living losers are always getting so uptight. Well, let's see if you can change the perspective a bit. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Let's get this started.
I've never met any of those people. I see them trending on YouTube all the time.
Name's so nice, you'll want to say it thrice.
The algorithm really likes those channels. But I've never... I don't think I've ever watched their work. I see them on Twitter sometimes, but I also see cancel mobs going after those guys, so... I don't like associating with them because, like, I'm not strong enough a channel to withstand that type of harassment, and I'm already dealing with craziness on my own, like with the DDoSing and stuff like that. I don't need more stuff, more things on my plate. So associating with those guys, which I don't know them personally, I've never met them, but I think that would be very bad for not only my brand, but also, like, could cause my haters to do something dangerous. Like, somebody could show up with a weapon at my house. You know, I just... I have no big friends. I have no safeties. Like, those guys, they all run in a tight circle. And, you know, good for them. Because, I mean, they have, like, a huge network of, like, friends and stuff like that. Watch each other's back. It's just Amber and I against the world. So... And I honestly believe our haters are very dangerous, or they could be. I mean, they already commit crimes against us, so, like, actual felonies. Sometimes I worry that they're going to take it too far, but that might just me being paranoid. But you have to remember, I've been dealing with this for 3 years, so it's always on the back of my mind. I have checks and balances in my house if they try to do something stupid, but still. Like, I never want to, you know?
Solo a friend with 6 legs.
Nice job, Marissa. But it would be nice for us to have more YouTuber friends.
Haven't had this much fun since the Black Plague.
I like to associate more with gamers, though, than, like, culture warriors. Like, if that makes sense. And there's... Most gaming channels these days are very, like... distant. Like, they all do their own thing because everybody can see YouTube circling the drain. Like, all the other gaming channels, because gaming channels don't really trend anymore. So, like, everybody is so busy maintaining their gaming brand that they don't really network, and there are really no networks anymore. Like, there's no Machinimas or Maker Studios or any of that, so all the gamers are basically in their little lifeboats, and every once in a while we see somebody's lifeboat sink under the water, and each one of us is just kind of like, man, I'm glad that my lifeboat didn't start leaking, you know? It's like, I hate to put it that way, but, like, all of us are so, like, kind of, like, watching each other, like, sink, and are like, you know, that person's not sinking as much as I am, or, you know, that person, they're in big trouble, or, man, I'm going to end up sinking as much as they are. So, but we all don't network as much, because a lot of us, like, we all went through the joys of, like, early YouTube networks and, like, YouTube friendships, and they all ended badly, and a lot of us are coming from a point of view where, like, the gaming side of YouTube, we all don't really we say we're all friends and stuff, but we all don't really get along, and there is no real big like community that there used to be, because there was a lot of backstabbing and there was all this other stuff, and got kind of petty. It's not that close, tight group that used to go to like MagFest and PAX and stuff like that. That stuff's all gone, So I mean, I'm happy for those cancel or whatever those guys are, the Gamergate people or whatever, because they have like this huge community of support and friends. A lot of us gamers do not, but I wouldn't say those guys are gamers. Like, I don't know how I guess I would categorize them as like TMZ or something. Like the opposite of TMZ. If anybody knows what TMZ is, that was a tabloid entertainment thing back when I was a kid. I don't know if TMZ is still around or not, but they dealt with like celebrity gossip and talking about celebrities, basically kind of like internet paparazzi in a sense. But there are also people that like they talk about the things that people don't want to talk about. So they got a lot of courage and guts, but I can't run in that circle. So I wish that gamers would be more tight. That would be nice, but we're not. We're all in our own little lifeboats, just kind of hoping that we don't start to sink. And none of us really knows how to really reach out to, create these big, long webs of friendship that we used to have like 10 years ago. Like, you also don't see like really a lot of YouTubers, like gamer YouTubers, don't really do a lot of collabs anymore either. Have you noticed that? Like, ever since the pandemic ended, there's really not a lot of gaming YouTubers. There are YouTubers that like have podcasts together, but again, those are comic book people. Those aren't gamers. I'm specifically talking about gamers. You don't see a big group of gamers doing a lot anymore. And I miss that, because that was fun. TMZ still exists? Okay. I was just using them for example. Like, they're basically people that talk about celebrities. I would say that Neurotic and all these other people, they talk about the video game, or no, they don't really talk about video games. They talk about the movie industry, movie and television. And the only television and movies that I cover is superheroes. So it would never work out, and I don't think I would ever be approached to be on their show. And also, I'd be terrified to be invited on there because, I don't know if these people are going to be friends with us. And our haters, they're going to take it too far, Just like I was invited a while ago to go on a Screw Attack, or whatever it's called now, side-scrollers. I haven't done it because I don't know what's going to happen. I was invited to do it, and I didn't do it, so I guess Craig got mad at me. I don't know. But at the same time, he invited me to go on the show on my wife's birthday, and I said I couldn't do it. So, if we haven't really circled back, because obviously, I'm not going to do the show on my wife's birthday. It's my wife's birthday, right? So. But that's about as far as I've gotten with that group. I remember when they were all starting out, and I remember saying to myself that there's no way these channels are ever going to grow because, I mean, it's just basically, you can't really go against the Hollywood machine. Because I'd seen it firsthand. Because I worked for YouTube networks that were owned by Hollywood. And if you tried to go against Hollywood, you have huge penalties. So I knew what Hollywood was capable on YouTube, so to see like these like small grassroots guys like fight against the machine was kind of fascinating, but also like, when Hollywood changes, if they change, it's going to put these guys out of business, you realize. Because right now they are the response to all the nonsense in Hollywood. What happens when Hollywood goes back to how they were in the 2000s? If they go back to that, I mean, those guys will be slowly put out of business. Like, some of the really big ones that have millions of subscribers, they'll stick around, but like everyone that's just kind of like doing that type of stuff, I would honestly see that stuff disappearing, to be honest. Because there won't be a market for it anymore.
Automatic.
And again, this is just, I'm not trying to attack anybody. I'm just saying this from like a common sense point of view.
Must try harder.
Like the market generates certain types of like brands during times of crisis and other things. The only reason that YouTube gaming is still really around is because the gamers on these publications are all crazy. So people come to YouTube to see gamers act like gamers. They're not, you know, they're not activists, they're gamers. Whereas the people who are representing you in your spaces of gaming, they're all activists and they annoy you, right? So you come and you watch certain gamers on YouTube or Twitch who play games and make you feel nice and just talk about video game related stuff. They don't, you know, start getting into like who they're voting for, or, you know, whatever else is a certain talking point that they do. They focus on whatever game they're doing, you know? And that's refreshing for people because that's what people want from a gaming personality. Or maybe they want people that crazy like Dr. Disrespect. You know, gamers are a very unique group of people because there's so many of us and we have so many different types of tastes and genres that we like. For me, I'm a variety channel. I like to play all kinds of games. I can't... If somebody came to me and said, you'd have to play Arkham your whole life, and we'll give you like 10 million subscribers, I would eventually go crazy and probably jump out my window. Because I couldn't play that game my entire life. Like, I've always sought games that interest me. Whether they're cozy games, whether they're fighting games, whether they're party games, racing games, adventure, RPG. I am a creature that craves unique experiences. And I'm a lot like Reggie Fils-Aimé in that way. Like, I can't have my gaming experiences all be the same. It would drive me crazy. And if you look at my gaming career, I've always shown a variety of products. Like, variety of games and genres and stuff like that. Because I am, at the end of the day, I'm a gamer. That's what I like. Oh, the thing's nice. It's got me dreaming about being back on the beach. Actually, a little R&R might not be a bad idea. Freshen myself up before I kick your warm-blooded butts once and for all. But I'll always be like that, though. I like variety. Variety is a spice of life, you know? I can't... I think, like, my big fallout with Machinima back in the day happened because they told me, we'll give you salary. You be a salary content creator, and we'll go with a yearly bonus, but the only thing that you can never do now is you have to work on your Batman channel, and you'll have to make Batman content. And we'll get you in touch with Warner Brothers, we'll do all this stuff that you need. You know, we'll repair that bridge with you, and you just make Batman content. Like, that's what we want to do, that's how we're going to market you. And I said, no. And they're like, why? I said, well, for one, there's no more Arkham stuff. So you're asking me to find a way of milking this game forever, or this brand forever. And two, it's like, I would go crazy. Because, you know, this is a job for me, but at the same time, like, it's a job that I control how my content is. I don't want some person hovering over me telling me what to do, because that's what it was like as a game journalist. Like, I want the freedom to do what I want, you know? So I politely told them, you know, thank you for the offer, but I can't ever do that, because, like, it'll ruin my love for gaming. Like, I like that I can go on my other channel when there's a lull stuff for Batman, and I can make content with my wife on all kinds of games. I have a lot of fun doing that. May not seem like I have a lot of fun doing that, but I do. You know, we get to play a lot of fun games. And just being contracted to make Batman stuff for the rest of my life, I mean, that's not it, Chief. I can't do that. I don't mind doing it once in a while. Like, if the contract was, you make like 5 Batman videos a month or something like that, like 10-minute videos, that'd be fine. They wanted me to do, like, you guys remember the The Arkham Nightfall thing I did that got like 4 or 5 million views. Do you remember that thing? Do you remember that big documentary thing that I did all those years ago? My crowning achievement? So basically, Machinima wanted me to make content like that. And it was impossible for me because I've never been able to make a better video than that. So they were really freaking me out. I still think that's the greatest video I've ever made, but I can't duplicate that. That was a passion project, that was a one-time thing, and everything like came together perfectly for that. My analysis, my theory, everything like, you know, hit correctly, right? But in order like to do that every week, when it took like I think Amber gave me like a whole week to put that project together. Like I didn't work on the Let's Play channel at all. Like I recorded a bunch of videos with her prior for Skylanders or something, and then I put that together, and then I slept the rest of the week because I literally, it took me like 48 hours, like literally at my desk to make that documentary. Get all the gameplay clips, get all the research done, get the voiceover, get the music. It was a perfect project, but it was one that was very time consuming, right? So Machinima wanted to hire me to do that. And I wasn't that type of content creator because, like, I did that out of, like, trying to help people, like, trying to explain what the ending was. And I went a little overboard. I'm a perfectionist, right? So that's how that happened. Oh, I'm so excited to feel the sand beneath my fingernails again. The only thing that could ruin this would be... Oh, no. But if you think back on that, I've never made a video to that high standard ever again. Because I can't. Like, I have this video staring me at the face. And I can't reach that pinnacle again. And it's created like a stigma. And one of the reasons why I avoid the O1 channel as much as I do, it's not that I hate my audience, it's like... every type of video that I make is never to that same bar. It's never that good. And it's like, even though that video is popular or whatever, and it's got like 5 million views, like it kind of like is a peak for me. And it's like, lightning will never strike twice with that. And it sucks. But Machinima, not only, you know, did they want me to do that, and they did sponsor that video, because I was with Machinima when I made that. I was a Machinima content creator when that video happened. So the viralness came from YouTube. We trended with that video, and my audience watched it a lot. And I had like, I think the notifications on that video was about like 75% of my audience saw that video. So, like, 75% of 300,000 people saw that. But, Rocksteady, Warner Brothers, or not Warner Brothers, Rocksteady, Machinima, and a few other really big people, like, pushed that video pretty hard. So that's why it went viral. Like, sometimes making a good video isn't enough to make it go viral. There's also people behind it that make it go viral. Like, there are people sharing it and it ends up like in a big content creator sees it, or, you know, all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of factors. But after that video, yeah, Machinima approached me and they were like, we want you to make like Batman topic videos like this because we think there's a market for this type of content and we think that this would be perfect for you. Because we're always trying to figure out what to do with your channel, because all you do is Batman walkthroughs, or you do like, you know, very basic gameplay lore. This is what we would like, because this is good. This is really good, and we're willing to do this. We're gonna do a salary. We'll do a contract with you, and we want you to do this just like 5 times a month. And I'm like, when they said that, I freaked out. It was like, how in the world could I do that? So there was, like, pressure on me, you know? It was just like, I can't have that pressure. I can't do it. So I freaked. I totally freaked. You know, looking back, I don't know what would have happened if I took that, you know? I don't know what... I probably would have left YouTube a long time ago just from the pressure of that. Because, I mean, they weren't even giving me topic ideas. And I don't think the community tab existed back then either. So it'd be kind of hard to even ask the community for help. And I don't know what that would have done to my marriage. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys. Well, Amber gave me the time to make that video. She felt like a game widow. Or a Batman widow. During my time on that. Because I didn't spend any time with her for the entire week I was on that project. Like, I was, like, headlong into that project. Like, I completely ignored the world around me. Got up, ate my meals, and I went up and I worked on that documentary. You know, I was literally in the zone. I had Arkham music playing in my office, like, 24/7. I was completely immersing myself to make that really cool video because I just couldn't stop, like, with all these creative ideas. I was hit with all these ideas at once for that video. And, you know... my hard work paid off. It got 4 million views. Made a lot of money on it. And, you know, it's still to this day, it's probably one of the coolest, like, Batman videos on YouTube. Like, I would argue that it is. Especially Arkham videos. It's a really good documentary. But I have the shadow hanging over my head, and I can never quite make a video as good as that ever again. And I've tried. And I think that this time I've nailed it. I made a really cool video. And it doesn't get any views. And it doesn't get, like, anything. And it's like, then I look at myself and it's like, I spent 80 hours on that project and it got, like, 20,000 views. Or 100,000 views or something like that. It's like, so it's like, then I just get super depressed and then I just kind of, I guess, retreat to my Let's Play channel. I don't know. If the videos would have been watched on the O1 channel, I don't think I would have become a streamer, but nobody watched the O1 videos. So we had to find a way of making income besides doing Let's Plays on this channel, and live streams was super popular. You have to remember, when we started live streaming on YouTube, we were trending all the time. Like, because our channel was so big and we weren't shadow banned, it would be easy to nab like a few thousand people per live stream. So we were making Boco Dinero, and what we liked about live streaming back in the day is we didn't have to do any editing. So we would finish a video, even if it was 720p, we didn't care. We'd finish a Skylander video, and that thing would go semi-viral, right? And there'd be no editing. Amber and I'd sit around and watch a Korean drama, or we'd go out to eat, and we'd just live life. That's what streaming was for us for 6 years. Almost. Well, no, yeah. Because we started live streaming in 2000... on YouTube, 2016, I think. And then we had a great time live streaming from 2016 till 2020. And that's when we got hacked. And then after the hacking, the DDoSing started in 2020... 21 is when the first DDoSing attack happened, the spring of 2021. Over a response to something I said about Tim Drake, I think. So a comic book character. Freaking, I hate sandworms. I hate them. Enough of this tropical crap. I need to get out of here. And when I get back, those losers are going down. Arkham Knight came out in 2015. Arkham Knight's DLC ran from 2016 until 2017. So I was covering Arkham Knight for 3 years. 2.5 years. Me and Arkham Videos were the only guys covering Arkham Knight, like, for several years.
So nice.
All the DLC, I did lore videos, I did a lot of stuff. I milked that game. I still milk that game. Whoops. I don't mind that I milk the game either. I think it's a fantastic game, and it's a great backdrop for talking about Batman stuff. I love the eerie atmosphere of the Arkham games, because it makes great foregrounds. Especially when you can zoom in and have the, like, eeriness of Gotham City as a backdrop for, you know, talking about a Batman topic. It's perfect. But there's very few people that I could think of that still use Arkham Knight as much as I do. But, you know, I found ways of adding, like, creativeness to it, though, like, turning it into, like, creative works, I believe is the legal term for it. For the most part, I don't even really show a lot of the gameplay. I do a lot of first-person stuff. Yeah. Who got first? Did Superman get first?
Oh, we're done already.
Marissa get first? Is that what happened? Oh, how did we do on the YouTube short, by the way? Because I am not streaming again after, there was no 2 a.m. stream. How did we do? How did we do? How did the short do? No way. Wow, you guys did good. Awesome. Okay. After 1 hour, the YouTube short got 1,400 views. Nice job, everybody. That helps out a lot. Thank you. That's going to keep the channel stable for the next 2 hours. Thank you very much. Now remember, we don't earn income on shorts. Shorts are just like a means to an end. A lot of content creators come to me all the time. They're like, why do you have so many shorts? What is it for? It says, well, I'm shadow banned. So it keeps my hourly views stable. It's like taking a shot of adrenaline and like pumping it into your channel. Would I recommend a normal channel do this? No, I would say it'd be best for you to like make a shorts YouTube channel and try to grow that separately from your main brand. But for us, we use it as a shot of adrenaline to keep the channel alive. Because what happens is, without new views coming into the channel will flatline down to 0 views an hour. So how we've cleverly figured out how to do it is we push YouTube Shorts, and the YouTube Shorts act like as a quick shot of adrenaline that stabilizes the channel for about 2 hours, which is why we do about 3 shorts a day. On top of the live stream. Live streams work for about 2 hours. And then after like the 2 hour mark, a live stream starts to hurt the channel. So that's why we have multiple live streams that are like 2 hours in length. There's a method to our madness. It all works. For the most part. Deanna, you want to try to, or not, sorry, not Miss Deanna. Marissa, you want to try to fight Superman? Like, if we go red Superman stuff? I'm not going to fight with Beetlejuice, though. I'm going to fight him with Batman, I think. Go animated Batman. Red gems. You might be thinking that Afterlife is all cute little ghosts in excellent suits. But I'm afraid it's time to bring out the big guns. Found these nasty customers hanging out my side of the veil, and well, now you're your problem. Haha. Alright, let's go, Marissa. So this is going to be a very hard fight, just so you know. So let's try to do our best.
Let's get this started.
Yeah, I know. I remember that Devil's Blight. I was worried about typecasting and all kinds of stuff. But I did do the Arkham Knight on Switch. Arkham Knight on Switch was a big protest for me, though. I don't regret protesting it because it had a lot of problems. I only streamed it because the community wanted me to. But I am looking forward in December to doing Arkham Origins again around Christmas time. That's kind of like my Christmas tradition at this point for the past, like, 4 years now. I think ever since we got, like, hacked, we've started to do it. Unless we did it in 2019, I don't know. I believe the tradition happened during the pandemic is when we started it.
Match point.
So this would be our 4th 4th Arkham Origins Christmas playthrough, I think. And like usual, that'll start up like Christmas Eve, I believe. Either that, or maybe we'll start it on the 23rd this year. I don't know. I kind of like the fact that we started on Christmas Eve, but... And who knows, maybe we'll do the Miles Morales game again, too. I like playing Christmas games at Christmas. Nice job, Marissa.
Sorry, Prime. You'll lose again.
Am I ranting right now? I don't know if I'm ranting. I was just like... I see myself as like a game historian. So like, when I talk about stuff, I talk about it from experience point of view. That's how I do my storytelling, I guess. Is like I'm sharing what my experience was with people, or what my perspective of, like, from what I see and how I think. If that makes sense. Win the match with an undead character. I guess we can go after him as Beetlejuice. Alright, that's cool. Yeah. Alright. What is your problem? Can't a ghost get some alone time while he takes over a piece of the multiverse? You know what? Doesn't matter. I'm tired of you chasing me. Now it's my turn.
Let's get this started.
Sharing wisdom to the class. Yeah, I guess that's what I do. I guess. But also you have to remember, the tireder I get, the more I talk. It's like almost getting like truth serum.
See, dead guys can dance. Those with the most
Ow.
skill.
Wow, Marissa and I did the entire riff together pretty much. Alright, now he's gonna send his weird... I don't understand why he would send the worms after us, though, because he doesn't like the worms. The sandworms freak him out. The boxing gloves I get. Next round. Ow. Speaking of knocking things over, we've got Crazy Cat breaking things. Zelda! Da 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 da. Do you know why? Because when people are tired, there's some like actual psychological stuff involved with that. When people are very tired, they get very open with stuff. Because they're not usually, you know, when you're at your A game or something like that and you're very alert, you're not going to be very open and honest with people about stuff because, like, you know that that's not something that you should really be doing, or you don't even think about it. But when you're tired, and especially with streamers in general, when they're with their audience for many, many hours a day, especially like when you start to wind down, it's like you just start talking to them. Almost like, one streamer on Twitch said it was like, almost like kind of therapeutic sometimes. Like, it's good to be able to get things out so that they don't feel so alone and stuff like that. I'm not alone. I've got 2 cats and I've got a wife who I've had in my life for, 18 years. But at the same time, it's like I really like my community, and what makes my community stand out from other YouTubers is it's so different. Like, the community is made up of so many different people from around the world. And, like, they're just similar to us, but also they're different. So it's like they all, for the most part, like, they're really cool people and they have, like, common sense, and that just, I don't know, it makes me feel comfortable in my own, on my own streams and stuff like that, because it's like, I'm talking to people that feel like they actually listen to what I'm saying and they understand what I'm saying. So that's always good. And also, you know, they try to be good and kind and civil people, and I really respect that. That's why, you know, when I go to other YouTubers' communities and I see them live stream, it's just like, I don't know, kind of like people that are just there to consume the streamer. Like, they're there to interact and just, you know, act goofy and stuff like that, but there's really no substance that's happening on the stream. It's like, they don't really, they aren't even talking to each other. Like, I've been to other people's channels that have, like, millions of subscribers and stuff, and, like, kind of, like, sat in their chats, and their audience don't even talk to each other. They don't say, like, hey, how you doing, so-and-so, and, you know, they're just, like, trying to get the attention of the streamer, or they might know the mods, but for the most part, everybody there is, like, a stranger, you know? Whereas the Kwing community is actually, it's a thriving, living community of people from all over the world, and they're like real people. You know, other channels aren't like that. Does that make sense, or I don't know? Okie dokie, jeez. All right, I give up. You want to hear me beg? Fine. I just thought we were having some laughs, you know, some funny, wacky hijinks. But I'm guessing that must have misread things. If it'll stop you from sending me back, I'll join your stupid cause. How's that? Cool beans. Alright, Marissa, we did it. We completed the entire Beetlejuice Rift. Wait, why didn't... I still don't have... Why? Can somebody explain... Because this happened to me last time. Why don't I have the green thing? Why do I not have the green thing? This happened on the Samurai Jack thing, too. I never got my Samurai Jack thingy. It never unlocked. Why? And the green beetle eludes me. Everyone knows that the Kwings favors me the best. I don't have a favorite in the chat. I like all you guys, personally. Each one of you is quirky and fun. I mean, each person seems to have their own little role in the chat. Like, take OH. OH is the annoying know-it-all. Everybody knows he's the know-it-all. He knows it. It's just his thing. You know, it's just expected in the community. People are just kind of like, oh, that OH. I mean, you don't have that in other communities. Like, OH is a, you know... people know who he is. People know who the mods are here, and people know about Chad, and people know about Marissa, and they know about our ultimates, and you know, you guys are fun, quirky characters. You make streaming fun. The community is fun. Well, we used to have an annoying know-it-all on the channel. We used to have a guy named Ed. He was on the channel a lot over the years, and he always would act like he knew better than everybody else and stuff like that. And he knew a lot about classic games, but also he would butt heads with Amber over philosophy and stuff like that. He hasn't been on the channel in years. And we had Brady was a very big part of our community till he went to college. He was always talking about Xenoblade. Xenoblade waifus and stuff like that. We had somebody that was always saying first in every live stream, like for years. They're not here anymore. People grow up, people go to college, people change. I've noticed that a lot of our community now are people in their 30s and 40s and 20s and stuff like that. There's really not that many little kids anymore. Which actually, I mean, I think that's good because, I mean, YouTube has really changed how they do content for kids. Which they need to be over on the 4Kids app, you know? So, I mean, it's nice for me to know that there are actually people around my age and know about our life experiences, and because they have similar life experiences. I'm not going to say who it is, but we have a person on the channel who's a widower. But you'd never know from talking to them that they're a widower, you know? Like, they lost their spouse, and they're on the channel and stuff like that, you know? There's all kinds of walks of life on this channel. And we see you guys in the chat all the time, and, you know, we laugh and hang out with you guys. It's a lot of fun. And we got a cat knocking over stuff in the kitchen. I don't know why, but we do. One sec, guys. I gotta yell at the cat per norm. She's knocking stuff over. Link, what's Zelda doing? Zelda! Ay, ay, ay! What is it with your fascination with this stuff? This is why you get locked up. Yeah, you tell him, Link. What, I'm not mad at you. You don't knock over stuff in my kitchen. Hey, hey, don't you attack. Don't you do it. I will squirt you. I will squirt you. Stay. Stay. Okay, good boy. I will straight up squirt you. Okay. No. No, OH isn't involved with the hackers. That's, no. OH is just OH. You're still new to the community, Marissa. He's always been like this. It's just what he does. He's like that lovable uncle that everybody knows about. He's like Dennis the Menace, kind of. And you can't hate Dennis the Menace. He's just Dennis. OH's heart is in the good place. He's just, you know, I don't really want to get into it, but, you know, if you know, you know. Oof. But anyway, I'm not trying to dump on you, OH. You bring a lot to the channel, and, you know, we're glad to have you. Mr. Wilson. Anybody even remember Dennis the Menace? Because that's going far back. So anyway, I spaced out with my ADD. How do we get that green thingy? Because I don't know how to get that green thing. Yeah, we have a stream at 9 in the morning. Mr. Wilson. I was never a Dennis the Menace fan, though. I liked, I watched the Richie Rich cartoon when I was a kid, because I liked Richie. He was fun. Dennis just is kind of like... Well, I mean, he was a menace. I felt for Mr. Wilson. Because Mr. Wilson is just trying to live life, and here comes Dennis, causing problems. It's like, oof. Alright, so we're going to reactivate Zenless Zone Zero, because I'm planning on Zenless Zone Zero. Zenless Zone Zero is active. Yatta. Mr. Wilson. You have to complete 3 more missions? What 3 more missions? Yes, the NES game is bad. Most NES games based on licensed properties OH were bad. So I just have to complete 3 more missions? What missions? 3 missions, 3 missions. You mean 3 stars? Taunt at the end of the match. Open the Warner Brothers Tower. There's 2. Don't get hit by more than 10 ghosts. Yeah, that's easier said than done. What about this one? Win the match with a sports attire character. Ooh, I can do that one. I think. Yeah, because I wanna unlock the thingy. I'm the funny one. We used to have a girl on the channel that would constantly do knock-knock jokes in the chat.
Let's get this started.
Ah. Oh. Why are you having me do the mission by myself? I just need to show up and win the match as a sports attire character. Make me do all the work. I don't think I can do all the work. I'm kind of tired. Oh crap. Yaha! Yeah, it's not going well for me. Oh gosh.
Match point for blue team.
Ah, why? How do you block a projectile? I have no idea. I wish I could tell you how to block a projectile. I don't know. Alright, so then taunt at the end of the match. Alright, I'm gonna use Batman. We're gonna do this real quick. Do this real quick as Batman, because we can. Link, stop tearing up my thing, buddy. Linky. Superman saying, I have to do everything myself. Yeah. Okay, so, of course, we're going to cut out the DDoSing from the stream, so don't worry about that. I know this stream says it's been on for 3 hours and 10 minutes, but it won't have a playback of 3 hours and 10 minutes, because we're going to cut aspects of it out. So we just focus on the game. If these clowns would leave me alone, I probably wouldn't even talk about them. The only reason, unless they're doing this for attention, but I don't understand why going to jail would be the attention that they seek. They live in such a loveless environment, they just have to pester me. I don't know.
Let's get this started.
I didn't read a lot of Marvel comics as a kid. Batman 89. I was a DC guy, and even then I was only a Batman guy. I enjoyed watching Marvel shows on TV, on UPN and Fox. But I was not a comic book fan, per se. I became a big comic book fan for Batman because of Batman the Animated Series. And because I didn't like... You have to remember that I became a Batman fan when Bruce Wayne wasn't Batman. Jean Paul was Batman. So what the Jean Paul run had me do is I went back and I became a backlister. Like, I started reading older Batman stories from the 70s and 80s because I didn't like the 90s run. I didn't like what Chuck Dixon was doing with his Batman run. I didn't appreciate it. And don't get me wrong, I thought Chuck Dixon was amazing because he was also the guy doing the Robin and the Nightwing books, but I did not like his Batman run. I did not like Jean Paul Valley. I thought Bane was cool. Darn it, we gotta do it again. I didn't taunt fast enough. I did not taunt fast enough. Gotta taunt. Gotta taunt, gotta taunt, gotta taunt, gotta taunt. Taunt, 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 taunt. So, I mean, the same thing applied for me with Spider-Man. Like, when I actually picked up a Spider-Man book because of the cartoon show, Spider-Man wasn't... Peter Parker wasn't Spider-Man. Ben Reilly was. So, it was a very weird time for me because I loved these characters on TV, but they weren't the characters in the comic book. They were different guys. So, I was just kind of like, okay. But, unlike Batman, I wasn't really interested in the Spider-Man books, because I believe I picked up a Spider-Man book where Peter, like, smacked his pregnant girlfriend or something when dealing with a clone. So, I was just kind of like, I'll stick with Spider-Man on TV, because I like the Spider-Man in the TV. I don't like the Spider-Man in the comics. So, I was never really interested in Marvel Comics, personally. For Christmas, sometimes some friends and family members gave me Christmas-themed DC and Marvel comics, because that used to be a thing. But, oops, I didn't really have a lot of Marvel comics. It better work. It better work. There we go.
Never had a doubt.
There we go. Yatta! Cool. Now I'll think long and hard about what costume I want to get from the Beetlejuice characters. So there we go. All right, guys. That is the end of the Rift. There is no reason to do the Rift anymore. The Rift is done. Ghost with the Toast is Dunsky. So it took 2 streams, but we did it. Yatta! Actually, I like that picture. I'm probably going to use that for something. Probably use that for my next Beetlejuice stream. I'm going to talk with Amber because I don't know if she'll let me get the Matador thing. I mean, maybe. I know it's from the movie, but... like, I don't really like to buy every type of skin, you know? I really don't think he looks very good. You can see the potbelly really clearly there, and that's just creepy. Undead guy with a potbelly, with a... not even a dad bod, you know? I'm gonna be thinking about, like, what... I'm probably gonna do... probably gonna do Agent Smith for the Beetlejuice, because he looks cool. Or, I don't know, something else. But yeah, that's it. So, we have a stream series for the next Jake skin coming up. Or, I mean Finn, sorry. Called him Jake again. I'm not an Adventure Time fan, so I'm not going to say I am. I'm not going to be like one of those YouTubers. I love everything that Cartoon Network does. I saw Adventure Time in passing, but yeah. Alright, guys. So, yep. Finn will be getting a stream, and we're close to unlocking some, I think, Superman soon. Yeah, we're close to the Superman stream will be happening, and Samurai Jack's awesome costume. As well as we'll probably do at least one stream on one of the Beetlejuice costumes. But yeah, it was a fun night. All right, so I will see you guys at 9 in the morning, but I'm not gonna set up my 9 a.m. stream until later. So it's not gonna be. You'll be redirected to the the Zenless Zone Zero stream. And I hope you guys have a fantastic night. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, everybody. This stream got, well, it did have 1,000 views. YouTube took it away. Bummer. This stream did have 1,000 views. It needs 25 views in order to get another stream of Multiversus. So good luck, everybody. Have a fantastic night. Thank you for your help, Marissa. And I will catch you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. God bless. Happy gaming.